Thank you very much. Let's discuss with a key member of the January 6th committee, Congressman Adam Schiff. He's also the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thanks for joining us. Will the committee, in fact, be asking the former vice president to come in and appear voluntarily?
Yes, I think our chairman has now acknowledged that we will be. And that's our practice, which is to invite people to come in voluntarily, hope that they'll do so. And he would have, I think, very undoubtedly relevant testimony for us about that pressure campaign. No one would be in a better position really to speak to it than he would. All of the efforts to get him to violate his constitutional duty to count the votes and instead reject votes without basis. And so we hope that he'll be willing to do so. And as the chairman has indicated, we intend to extend that invitation fairly soon.
Will you subpoena the former vice president if he chooses not to appear voluntarily?
We don't, like to speculate about that until we have a chance to see whether people will come in on their own volition. And look, he did the right thing on that day. I certainly have a lot of differences with Mike Pence, and I think for 4 years he was tragically a dutiful yes man for the president. But on one day that really, really mattered, he said no. And so I think he's got a good, important story to tell. I think it's a story the American people should hear, and it would be invaluable to our work. So let's hope that he's willing to do the right thing.
Yeah, he did the right thing on that day in certifying the election. And his top aides, while at the White House, his chief of staff, his national security advisor, and others who worked very closely with him, they are fully cooperating right now, aren't they?
I can't comment as to particular witnesses and their level of cooperation, but I can say that we're getting the help of a great many people, some who were in the administration, in the White House, others who were outside of the government. But still, I think even with other witnesses who are potentially helping the committee, Mike Pence knows things that only Mike Pence knows. And it would be very important to completely fill out our work. And I think this is one more public service that needs to be performed by the former vice president.
The House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, Congressman, suggested on CNN last night that she believes some of her Republican colleagues were, in her word, perpetrators of the January 6th attack. Does the Select Committee have evidence of that?
I can't comment on what evidence we have at this point, and certainly I don't want to comment vis-a-vis members of Congress, except to say that, in my view, those who, even after that attack on the Capitol, continue to vote to overturn the election, bear responsibility. Now, that may not be a kind of a responsibility that breaks the law, but I think it violated their oath of office, their oath to uphold the Constitution. In terms of whether members were aiding and abetting the insurrectionists in a way that ought to result in either the Justice Department taking action or the House taking action, I'm going to await the conclusion of our investigation.
We now know that then Vice President-elect Kamala Harris was at the DNC, was evacuated when that pipe bomb was found outside. Does this revelation, Congressman, further underscore why the investigation into the many acts of violence that occurred on that day, that investigation remains critical, right?
Oh, yes. I think that's unquestionably true. You had the current, at that time, Vice President Mike Pence in danger of his life with people with scaffolds outside the Capitol wanting to hang him. And you had the incoming vice president, who, if these reports are correct, was in proximity to a pipe bomb that authorities have said was a viable weapon and could have killed someone. So all of these things, I think, underscore the importance of a full accounting of what led up to that day. And more than that day, a full accounting of all the multiple lines of effort by Donald Trump and his enablers and anyone else to overturn a presidential election, to essentially stop the peaceful transfer of power to the person who won, Joe Biden. And that's what we're determined to do and to find out and to make public and protect the country through our legislative process.
Lots going on right now. We will stay in touch. Congressman Adam Schiff, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Wolf.